Now I sort of relax, I sort of accepted myself the way I am. But of course I wanted to have more shape.
For decades, Audrey Hepburn has been admired for her elegance, beauty, and the captivating presence she held both on and off screen. Fans adored her smile, yet behind it, many questions remained. Was her life as flawless as it appeared? Were there aspects of her story that Hollywood didn't reveal? For years, speculation filled the gaps, with no one close enough to distinguish between fact and fiction. Now, the silence is being broken. For the first time, Audrey Hepburn's son, Sean Hepburn Ferrer, speaks out about the myths people believed and the realities few understood. His insights changed the way we view Audrey, not only as an enduring icon, but as a woman, a mother, and someone who faced personal struggles beyond her outward poise. This is the story people have wondered about for years, and the truth is finally being shared. Audrey Hepburn's early life carried a quiet sorrow that fame could never erase. Born on May 4, 1929 in Brussels, she appeared to grow up in a world of privilege, traveling across Europe, embracing different cultures and becoming fluent in multiple languages. Yet beneath her outward charm was a deep emotional wound that would shape her life. When Audrey was just 6 years old, her father, Joseph Victor Anthony Rustin, left her family. His sudden departure shook her sense of security, leaving a lasting pain that she later described as one of her greatest emotional struggles. Despite her public grace and success, the impact of that loss never fully healed. Years later, when she eventually reconnected with her father in Dublin, their reunion brought no resolution, only a poignant reminder of what had been lost. As if emotional hardship wasn't enough, history soon presented Audrey with another immense challenge. By the time she was 10, she had moved to the Netherlands, where World War II devastated Europe. Living under Nazi occupation, everyday life became a constant struggle for survival. Food became scarce, and hunger was a constant struggle. The slender figure the world later admired was shaped by hardship, not vanity. During the Dutch famine, Audrey survived on whatever she could find: nettles, tulip bulbs, and scraps to help ease the pain of hunger. By the war's end, she was dangerously underweight and physically fragile, her body marked by years of malnutrition that would contribute to ongoing health challenges. Audrey never forgot those difficult years. She often reflected on how close she came to losing her life, aware that many others, including children her own age, didn't survive. The memory of that suffering stayed with her, subtly guiding her compassion. In later years, it inspired her commitment to humanitarian causes, particularly her tireless work with UNICEF. Having experienced hunger, fear, and loss firsthand, Audrey Hepburn spent her final years working to alleviate those same struggles for others, transforming personal hardship into deep empathy. Long before Audrey Hepburn became an icon of elegance, her heart belonged to ballet. Dance was not just a hobby, it was a passion rooted in discipline and devotion. Even during the difficult years of World War II, she held on to that dream, performing secret ballet recitals to help raise funds for the Dutch resistance. After the war, Audrey moved to London and earned a scholarship to study at the renowned Marie Rome Ballet School. However, reality was challenging. Despite her passion and hard work, she was told she didn't have the technical precision or the physical attributes required to become a professional ballerina. She later acknowledged that her technique didn't match that of other dancers her age, and her height and foot size were seen as disadvantages in a field that valued uniformity. Although the rejection was difficult, Audrey never fully gave up on dance. She continued to take ballet classes even as her acting career took off, bringing that love of movement into every role she played. Her graceful presence on screen was shaped by years of ballet training, turning her passion for dance into a gift for Hollywood. Ironically, the woman celebrated as one of the most beautiful figures in film history never quite shared the world's perception of her. Despite her iconic roles in films like Roman Holiday and Breakfast at Tiffany's, Audrey remained highly self-critical. focusing on what she saw as imperfections rather than strengths. Over time, though, her outlook softened. She embraced aging instead of resisting it, finding peace in the passage of time. As her son Luca shared, Audrey believed that life had different phases and aging was simply another chapter, one meant for family, love, and giving back. Audrey Hepburn's search for lasting love was both sincere and delicate. In 1952, she became engaged to industrialist James Hansen, a romance she once described as love at first sight. For a brief time, it seemed like the start of a fairy tale future. However, Audrey soon faced a difficult reality. Their busy lives would keep them apart. Choosing sincerity over fantasy, she ended the engagement, famously saying, "When I get married, I want to be really married." This belief, placing depth and commitment over fleeting romance, guided her relationships for the rest of her life. Not long after, she met actor Mel Ferrer at a party hosted by Gregory Peck. Their connection was immediate, and by 1954, they were married. They even worked together on screen. But as Audrey's career continued to flourish, the dynamics of their marriage grew more complicated. In 1960, the birth of their son, Sean, brought her great joy, offering her stability amid the pressures of fame. Still, their marriage faced challenges. There were rumors suggesting that Ferrer was overly controlling, a claim that Audrey often dismissed. However, close friends noticed a growing imbalance in their relationship, one that took a quiet toll on her. Over time, disillusionment replaced optimism, and in 1968, after 14 years together, their marriage came to an end. While the relationship left its mark, Audrey found lasting meaning in motherhood. Her connection with Sean became a source of comfort and fulfillment, a reminder that even when relationships change, love can transform and endure. After her divorce from Mel Ferrer, Audrey allowed herself to hope once more. By 1969, Audrey and Andrea were married, and she envisioned a quieter future, one that might include more children and a slower pace of life, a break from the constant demands of her career. The birth of their son, Luca, in 1970 brought her immense joy, marking what felt like a long-awaited blessing. However, that happiness was intertwined with years of private heartache. Audrey had experienced multiple miscarriages throughout her life, including one in 1959 while filming The Unforgiven. Each loss left a lasting emotional impact. She later shared, "My miscarriages were more painful to me than anything, including my parents' divorce and the absence of my father." Luca's arrival was therefore not just joyful, but deeply meaningful, a hard-earned victory over grief. Yet her second marriage also faced its own challenges. As fame and distance grew, the relationship began to face strain. Andrea was often unfaithful, reportedly finding comfort with younger women while Audrey was away working. The repeated betrayals gradually wore down what little hope remained, and in 1982, the marriage came to an end. Despite the heartache, Audrey chose to remain in Italy so Luca could stay close to his father. In reality, as her son Sean later revealed, Andrea seldom made an effort to spend time with him. Once again, Audrey found herself raising her children largely on her own, resilient, devoted, and quietly enduring. While much of Audrey Hepburn's romantic life had been marked by disappointment, her final relationship brought her the peace and happiness she had long been seeking. In 1980, Audrey met Dutch actor Robert Walders, and with him she discovered a sense of peace that felt both unfamiliar and deeply healing. They never officially formalized their relationship, but Audrey often described their connection as a true partnership, one built on devotion rather than formalities. Walders, a widower himself, provided her with stability, kindness, and freedom from external pressures. Looking back, Audrey openly shared that these years were the happiest of her life. Her sons, Sean and Luca, were central to this happiness. While the pain of her earlier miscarriages never fully disappeared, it softened in the warmth of motherhood and the life she had created with her children. In her later years, Audrey found a balance between family, selective work, and humanitarian service, radiating a quiet confidence that reflected everything she had endured. She was no longer striving for perfection, she was living with purpose. In 1989, Audrey reflected on her 9 years with Walders and called them the most joyful chapter of her life. As her son Sean later shared, she had finally found someone who allowed her to be herself, without the pressures of fame or unrealistic expectations. But just as that peace had settled in, her health began to decline. After returning from a humanitarian mission to Somalia in late 1992, Audrey began experiencing severe abdominal pain. Audrey was diagnosed with a rare abdominal cancer, which had silently spread over the years. Despite undergoing surgery and chemotherapy, the outlook was not hopeful. Yet she faced her illness with incredible strength and dignity. As Robert Walders later shared, Audrey wasn't afraid of the end of her life. She was more concerned about the discomfort. Even as she battled her illness, her thoughts were focused on others, especially the children she supported through UNICEF. In the same year, she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom for her outstanding humanitarian efforts. Robert remained by her side until her passing in 1993, offering her the love and companionship she had longed for throughout her life. Audrey's final years were not defined by Hollywood, but by her compassion, transforming a life marked by hardship into one of lasting light. As her health declined, Audrey's final wish was a simple yet deeply meaningful one: to spend Christmas at home in Switzerland. Too weak for commercial travel, she relied on the kindness of those who cared for her. Designer Hubert de Giovanni arranged a private jet filled with flowers to bring her from Los Angeles back to Toloshenaz. There, surrounded by her sons, Robert Walders, and close friends, Audrey celebrated the holiday in peace. She later described it as the most beautiful Christmas I ever had, a rare moment of warmth and joy during her struggle. After the holiday, her strength began to fade. She spent her remaining days resting, occasionally stepping into her garden when she was able, savoring quiet moments in familiar surroundings. On January 20th, 1993, Audrey passed away peacefully in her sleep at the age of 63. Her passing marked the end of an extraordinary life, but not the end of her legacy. A private and deeply touching funeral was held at the village church in Toloshenaz, attended by her sons, Robert Walders, former husbands Mel Ferrer and Andrea Dotti, and close friends, including Gregory Peck and Hubert de Giovanni. Gregory Peck honored Audrey by reading Rabindranath Tagore's Unending Love, a fitting tribute to a woman remembered for her grace, compassion, and quiet strength. Flowers arrived from around the world, including from Elizabeth Taylor and the Dutch royal family, reflecting how deeply she had touched so many hearts. Audrey's legacy continued to be recognized long after her passing. She was posthumously awarded the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award at the 1993 Academy Awards. Her final screen appearance as an angel in Steven Spielberg's Always felt symbolic, a gentle farewell for a woman whose life had been defined by empathy. Through her son Sean's eyes, Audrey's legacy remains vibrant. In interviews, he has openly discussed her struggles and her lasting impact. He believes she would have embraced today's digital world with ease, once joking that she was the queen of social media because she was photographed more than anyone else. Yet her true strength, he explains, had little to do with appearance. Audrey often said, "It's the tune, not the words," meaning presence mattered more than performance. That authenticity made people feel truly seen. Today, Sean and his half-brother Luca safeguard her public image, ensuring it's handled with respect. For Sean, the most important part of her legacy isn't fame, but humanity. As he put it, she's the girl from across the hall who puts on a little black dress, and she's a wonderful package of imperfections. Those imperfections made her real and unforgettable. To share her spirit with younger generations, Sean co-authored Little Audrey's Daydream, a children's book tracing her journey from wartime hardship to her humanitarian work. To the world, Audrey Hepburn will always symbolize elegance and grace. Yet behind that radiant image was a woman shaped by personal challenges. Her son Sean has often shared that one of the most difficult struggles of her life was her experience with miscarriages. Audrey deeply longed to be a mother, but she faced several painful losses, one occurring tragically close to full term. According to Sean, she described that sorrow as more difficult to endure than anything else she had experienced, even more challenging than her parents' separation or her father's absence. These losses left lasting emotional marks, but they also strengthened the bond between mother and son. Sean believes that when Audrey finally became a mother, it was not just the fulfillment of a dream, it was part of her healing process. Her resilience had already been forged much earlier. Growing up during World War II in Nazi-occupied Netherlands, Audrey experienced hunger, fear, and uncertainty. Sean recalled how his mother described being kept in bed during harsh winters to conserve energy, a vivid reminder of how fragile survival truly was. These experiences never left her. Instead, they shaped her compassion and later fueled her lifelong dedication to humanitarian work. Having known hunger herself, Audrey felt a deep responsibility to help children who suffered in the same way, particularly through her work with UNICEF. Even as she gave so much to others, Audrey faced her own personal challenges. In the final chapter of her life, she was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. Yet, she remained outward-looking, committed to kindness and service until the very end. Through her son's reflections, we get a glimpse of the real Audrey Hepburn, not just a style icon, but a woman whose grace was born from endurance, empathy, and love. Her life teaches us that true beauty doesn't lie in perfection, but in the strength to endure, to heal, and to give back. If you enjoyed this story about Audrey Hepburn's remarkable life, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more inspiring stories. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.